When you think you cannot do something, think again. Chris always said, the body will do whatever the mind tells it to. I'm counting on that now. I stand before you, a broken woman, but I am now and always will be the wife of a man who is a warrior both on and off the battlefield. Some people along the way have told Chris that through it all, he was lucky I stayed with him. I'm standing before you now to set the record straight. Remember this, I am the one who is literally, in every sense of the word, blessed that Chris stayed with me. I feel compelled to tell you that I'm not a fan of people romanticizing their loved ones in death. I don't need to romanticize Chris because our reality is messy, passionate, full of every extreme emotion known to man, including fear, compassion, anger, pain, laughing so hard we doubled over and hugged it out, laughing when we were irritated with each other, and laughing when we were so in love it felt like someone hung the moon for only us. All of it, the messy, painful, constantly changing, crazy ride, was rolled up into the deepest, most soul-changing experience that only one man, Chris Kyle, could bring. Chris was all in, no matter what he did in life. If he loved you, and I mean really loved you, he did it without judgment. One of my clearest memories I'll relate to you now in an attempt to explain how he put me and others in his life at ease. The backstory is that Chris and I fell in love quickly. He was like a kid in a candy store and jumped into loving me with both feet and no looking back. It made me feel like pure gold because I thought he was the most uniquely idealistic, fun, loving, intelligent, intuitive, and sensitive man I had ever met. It was starting to weigh heavily on my heart that this amazing man had a love is blind thing going on. A couple of months into our relationship, we were in the car in Coronado, California, and I got up the courage to tell something to Chris that I felt was very important for him to know. As happy as I was with Chris when we were physically together, we lived in different cities, and my real life, meaning the time I was not physically in his company, was full of stress and anxiety for many different reasons. Chris, I think you need to know something, I confessed. I am really messed up. I really struggle with a lot of things. Without batting an eye, and without pausing, he gently said, in a way only Chris could, "You're a package deal, babe. I love you. All of you." He grabbed my hand, and that was it. That was Chris for me through good and tough times. When I was hard on myself, he was the gentle force telling me that the sum of me, my failures, my successes, love, joy, anxiety, and pain were all rolled up into a package that was just fine by him. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for loving me. All of me. I want to take a minute and honor Chad Littlefield, because loving without judgment is what Chad gave to Chris also. Chad and Chris started with a clean slate. Chad met Chris as just another father on the ball field, trying to love his family. In the craziness of life, Chad came along with his quiet, large presence and easy smile, complete with a rugged beard and dimples, and blessed Chris with a friendship that was the one thing Chris needed more than anything. It was effortless. Chad would just show up and share some laughs, or show up and not say a word, depending on Chris's mood that day. Chad helped Chris get back into his workouts by doing one thing. He showed up. It was good for both of them. Chris used to tell me some mornings after a 5 a.m. workout with Chad, "Well, Chad and I were real chatty this morning." I would start laughing, knowing what was coming. "Oh yeah?" I would say. "Did y'all say one sentence or two?" A couple times, Chris shocked me by saying there were maybe a couple short bursts of conversations. Thanks for the glove. But it was 5 a.m. Neither one of them wanted to be there at 5 a.m. They were there because Chris needed it. If Chris had a particularly rough day, there were times he would mention it to Chad, and I have a feeling those conversations were as short as the 5 a.m. ones, plus or minus some. On those days, after the kids were in bed, it was common for Chad to just pop over for a visit. Chad and Leanne told us once they were Chris and my FBBs. That stood for Friends Before the Book. That was absolutely true, and we knew it. That didn't mean Chad didn't appreciate the legend and the seal in Chris, though. A little over a week ago, Chad showed up, as he often did, just after the kids had gone to bed. He sauntered in, Sonic bag and large soda in hand, with his usual smile, nod, and a "What's up, girl?" to me. That evening, he showed Chris a new rifle and scope he had just invested in and asked Chris to fix the scope for him. Chris was asking Chad all kinds of technical questions about what he wanted and needed with it. Chad just cocked his head sideways and laughed. "You tell me, brother."